Hi, this is Mark from eReplacementParts.com. We're going to show you how to cut a mortise and tenon joint today using a hollow chisel mortiser. So what is a hollow chisel mortiser? Basically, it's just a small, heavily built drill press. It uses a special bit and chisel. You can see it's a two-piece system. It's made up of a chisel and a drill bit that's similar to a little auger bit. Basically, the drill bit just goes up inside of the chisel. As the drill bit spins, it removes the majority of the material out of the center of the joint, and the chisel cleans up the corners, making it square. There's a couple basic things you need to do to get the optimum performance out of your hollow chisel mortiser. We're going to show you those now. First, the chisel needs to be very, very sharp. There's a number of ways you can sharpen this. Most of them consist of a conical grinding stone that fits inside of the chisel and sharpens all 4 points at once. And systems like that work great. The other thing is, because you have metal on metal contact with the drill bit spinning inside the chisel, it's good to have a little bit of lubrication in there. You don't want to use oil or a silicone-based lubricant because that'll cause staining on the wood that you're using for your project. So what works really good, I've found, is just some paste wax. And I just take a rag, put a little bit of paste wax on it, like that, and then just spin that around the drill bit. That wax will get onto the bit and provide a good lubricant. And if a little bit of that wax gets on your wood, it's not as bad as the oil or silicone-based lubricants would be. So once I have that lubricated, I can go ahead and insert the drill bit back into the chisel, and now we'll go ahead and mount that to the mortiser. First, I just simply insert the bit up inside the mortiser. The first part we need to worry about is the chisel. Take it all the way up to the shoulder on the chisel, and I'm just going to lightly, just finger tight to the screw that holds the chisel in place. Now I'm going to lower the column of the press down, or the mortiser down, so that the chisel is in line with the fence. We need to square up the chisel. If I don't square the chisel to the fence, I'm going to end up with a really ragged cut on the edge of my mortise. So I'm just going to use a little 6-inch square up against the fence, bring that up to the chisel. Because we finger tightened the set screw, I can still rotate the chisel a little bit. And we'll just square that up, just like that. And now I'll go ahead and tighten the set screw with a screwdriver. Depending on your mortiser, it may be a screwdriver or it may be an Allen wrench. With the chisel tight and square to the fence, now we can worry about the auger bit. With it, I want to take it all the way up as far as it'll go, and then lower it down about a 32nd of an inch, just so it's not bound against the chisel. I'll go ahead and open up the door here on my mortiser, giving me access to the chuck. And with the chuck key, tighten the chuck up. Just like that. It's important to leave that little 32nd inch gap. If I don't leave that, two things are going to happen. Number one, the drill bit's going to get very, very hot and wear itself out very quickly. It may get hot enough to even take the temper out of the chisel and damage the chisel itself. And if I get it too tight, because it's metal on metal contact, it'll be very loud. You'll have a very loud squeaking sound when you use the mortiser. So we should be ready to go and cut a mortise. You can see on my workpiece here, I've already laid out some basic lines. These two lines give me the position of the mortise on my workpiece, and then these two little hash marks here and here give me the centering dimension for my mortise. So I'm going to go ahead, set this inside the mortiser. I need to adjust my fence to center the drill bit, or the chisel, on the workpiece. The fence locks in the back here. I'm just going to go ahead and bring that out. Lower the chisel down until the chisel lines up with those two hash marks that I put on the workpiece. And just a little bit more. Just like that. Now that I have it right where I want it, I'll go ahead and tighten up the fence, and that's ready to go. This piece here is a hold down. That just keeps the workpiece from wanting to lift when I pull the chisel out of it. That's set pretty good. If I needed to adjust that, again, just a simple lever to unlock it. You want it just slightly higher than the workpiece. Go ahead and lock that down. The last adjustment on the mortiser, and I've already preset this, it's ready to go, is this piece here. And what that does is controls how deep the mortiser goes into the joint. And like I said, that's all ready to go. So now we can go ahead and cut our joint. When I cut this, there's a procedure I want to use to keep the chisel going straight into the workpiece. If I started on one end and just worked my way right down to the other end, the chisel would tend to want to bend or follow because there's no material on one side and it's going to go to the path of least resistance. So what I'm going to do is cut both ends first and then work my way down, skipping about half of a chisel width as I go down, and then I'll come back and clean those up in the middle at the end. Okay, the joint's cut. Let's get the waste material out of the mortise. That looks good. And here's our tenon, and I'll just slide those together. And just like that, we have a real nice mortise joint.